Good evening. My name is Eric Garcia. I'm also alumni from 2014. Unfortunately, like most of you, I've had multiple relapses, which are included in my story. But I try not to dwell on that too much. I just say what it is, and I move forward because that's what's built me today. If I didn't have those relapses, and if I didn't have those moments in life in my recovery, I don't think I would be able to build the strength to get to where I'm at today. So that's why I throw it out there, and I always throw my business out there because if I don't tell them myself, then I leave room for me to start making up excuses and start reverting into old ways. So what I do is I always throw myself out there, and I like to get it so that I don't have enough room to fail. But I come from a family of it's like half and half. My dad's side's all alcoholics, my mom's side's all gang affiliated, drug addicts, all that. So I got best of both worlds. Unfortunately, I was a bartender at a very early age, and I loved it. I was very good at it, and that's where I had no idea that my addiction was already full steam. At 8, 9, 10, I remember going to the store with my grandfather, my dad, my uncles, and we were able to stand up in the front seat. They drank beers while we drove. We didn't have seat belts, no car seats. None of that shit existed back then. So just to let you know how far back I go. Yeah. And, but that's the way it was. I used to run to the liquor store with a note from my mom. Hey, go get me a pack of cigarettes. And I would come back home and give them to her. So all these habits I was developing and picking up at such an early age. About 11, I was already drinking, but started getting curious about smoking cigarettes. So I would steal cigarettes from my mom's packs that she would keep in the refrigerator. Salem's, menthols. I didn't like them, but that's how I learned. You know, uh, as I was going through school, I started realizing that, hey, I've become pretty good at drinking. I know how to get it. I really don't need to beg for it because it just came to me natural. So, through elementary school, I was already ditching. I was already leaving school. I wasn't even making it to school sometimes. I wouldn't even make it home till late at night because I get so drunk and pass out. As time started going on, I started to realize that, hey, my crowd started getting bigger. The people that I associated with started bringing other people, and these other people started bringing some stuff that I wasn't familiar with. But hey, party favorites. What the hell? It's free. Why not? Let's do it. So then I started, experimenting with cocaine. Started doing eventually run out to meth, PCP, and all that stuff. But I really like doing cocaine, and I really like doing drugs for the fact that what I can stay up longer and I can drink a lot more. That was my madness to my theory, and that's how I liked it. But as I entered high school, I would go to ditching parties. You know, a friend called me in the morning. Hey, bring a mirror. I got a gallon of vodka, and I just got some coke. So we got go do that, make it to school, stay for a class or two, and then I would leave. I started becoming very codependent on people because I started realizing, hey, I'm not the only one, and I do struggle for things in life. And with you, I can get more. And I started feeding my addiction that way. And I started realizing that, hey, I needed more friends around me, not only because I wanted company, but because I needed your money. I became greedy and I needed to feel that that sense of conviction of greed, you know what I mean? Because the more I got, then I felt good. And once I felt good, I needed more. And I started realizing that, it's working right now. It's working. I know I can do some things. Maybe we can go out together and get some stuff done, and we can come up on some cash, do a couple licks, and it'd be good. So, needless to say, that what, it worked out for a while. Um, in and out of juvenile hall at the age of 18. Once I never graduated high school because I was never there to begin with. I never had the credits. I was never in attendance. They passed me from the eighth grade to ninth grade, 5 Fs and a D. And their excuse was, what, just go. We don't have room for you here. We don't need you here. You just cause too much trouble. Let them deal with you. That's exactly what they told me. Just go. We're gonna pass you. That day, my dad had went to go get a loan because he wanted to buy me a truck. And when he found out how I passed and why they passed me, he took the money back and told me that, I was out of luck. So from there on, I started realizing that, hey, you know what? Sometimes my way isn't the best way. And the rejection started pissing me off, and I started running away, started doing things that I shouldn't. And I started staying out later. I started going around, hanging around with friends, started finding the group that I thought that was for me because I got conviction. As much as I was afraid as a youngster, I wasn't, and especially when I got alcohol in me, all that was out the window. I didn't care. I didn't have to think. I had a friend. I heard a friend one night say, "Hey, let's stop at the store real quick because we need to get him some quartz." Like, now we ain't got time. We got to get back to the pad real quick because this is gonna happen. It's gonna go down tonight. Trust me. Let's stop at the store and just get Larry two Budweisers. So they did, but I let it go. To me, it was like, yeah, I'm coming up on some beer. He goes, all right. He goes, yeah, I trip out on this because once he gets drunk, he goes crazy. And I stopped and I thought and I reflected on it for a couple of seconds, but I threw it out the window because I had 240s of Budweiser in my hand, and I was happy. So, needless to say, that night when we went and we got ourselves ready, I got shot. I got shot in the head. One went through my hand and the other one went through my side, through my kidney, through my intestines, ripped it in half, and it lodged into my lung. In the hospital, the doctor tells me, hey, I don't know who was on your side, but you should be dead right now. And thank God that he was there for you because if it weren't for the way you were and the drugs you're on right now, he ended up telling me at the end because they were asking me repeatedly, what type of drugs did you do? What did you do tonight? How much did you drink? And I kept telling them, I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. Well, eventually, one of the doctors comes around later on. He tells me, hey, you're lucky. And you're lucky you were high on PCP that night because you wouldn't have made a recovery as fast as you did this time. All those wounds I suffered that night, I was in the hospital for 1 week and I was out. A week, believe that. So there's a God shot right there, right? Me, already at the age of 18, shot in the hospital, should have been dead. To me, I was like, okay, now I'm untouchable. You know, my strength grew, my courage grew, a lot of other things went out the window. And right now that I say that, I trip out because I have my son just turned 18 not too long ago, and he's on that fentanyl stuff, right? He's already got the real D's on this stuff, and I talk to him and I try to explain to him, and he tells me, "Nah, check it out, Pop. It's all good, man. I got this. I got this." I'm like, "No, you don't. Don't have it, man. I'm telling you. I thought I did too, and look what happened to me." He's like, "Nah, man." And for some reason, they won't arrest. They won't arrest him, right? He gets locked up. He'll go in for a couple weeks, maybe a month, and then he's right back out. He's violated 3 PR bonds, and he's still doing what he's doing, And I try to talk to him, and I try to give him some words of wisdoms, because I've already been through it all, and a lot of it, and he's right now so caught up in the grips of addiction and insanity that he thinks that he's gonna pull through this and he's got it. One of the hardest things I ever had to do was tell him no. You know, I was giving him $20 here, $40 there, and then one day it was like another 40. Hey, pops, I need 68 pops. This. I was like, oh, wait a minute, man. How many people have you done this to? Because your sister just told me you called her up at 2 o'clock in the morning asking for money. Now you're calling me asking for money. What do you do with your money? You say you need food, you say you need somewhere to stay, but then yet you're putting on social media all night this new chain, these new shades, you got a nice haircut, you got fresh clothes. How bad are you really hurting? So you know what? Until you can do good for yourself, I ain't gonna give you anything, man. And he got pissed off and he hung up on me. Well, he cussed me out and then he hung up. But for me, I needed to cut him loose quick because I told him I can't bear the thought that my $20 is gonna be the $20 that put you in the dirt. I can't live with that. I'd rather you go get it from somebody else than get it from me. Me live with that type of pain. So, I've been dealing with him off and on, off and on. Today I've been trying to get him, and all he does is live in hotels and stuff like that. But back coming to my craziness, I thought maybe if I pick myself up and I move, get away, that things would be better. So I did. I did geographical type of shit. I've been to Arizona. I'm originally from Texas. Come out here. Went to Northern California. I've been in different jails, different prisons, and to me, it was like everybody had the problem. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be in this mess. If you wouldn't have called me, I wouldn't have been here. If you guys wouldn't have showed up at the pool hall that night, I wouldn't have jumped in the car with you guys. If you wouldn't have came up on some money, we wouldn't have called the connect, and I wouldn't be all strung out right now. That was me the whole time, always bringing up excuses, and I couldn't realize, I couldn't figure it out. Like, why is it that I can't get myself together? But I grew up a loser, deadbeat dad, strung out, drunk, homeless, jobless, all that. You know, I'm still a deadbeat dad up to this day, and I don't think I'll ever get out of that hole because of the misery and that caused my kids. My oldest boys today, they're 35 and 34. They don't want nothing to do with me. My little boy's all strung out, and my daughter, she's up north with my grandson, but she's doing good for herself. You know, but for me, it's like at the age of three, when I raised them up to three, and I was blown out. Like my two oldest boys, three, 3.5, I was gone. Took off. I left. You know, I couldn't handle it for some reason. I don't know what it was, but when it comes down to it, out of all the step work I did, I was chicken shit to man up and be a father to my kids. So those two come and go. I get into another relationship. My daughter comes into the picture. She's daddy's little girl. She's my little princess. I take her to school, pick her up from school. I'm going to work at the same time, trying to drop her mom off, do this, do that. But this whole time, you know, maybe if I don't drink, maybe if I don't do this, and maybe if I smoke weed, it'll just calm me down. I'll be cool and I'll be relaxed. That was my get down all day. I get up, smoke a bowl, get in the shower, smoke a bowl, get out of the shower, smoke another one. Before I get in the car, smoke another one. I was like, I already had like 5 bowls before I even get my daughter to school, and what was I thinking? Why did I think that was okay? How could I have done that? Every single day with a conscious thought. I did it. I got behind the wheel, put my daughter in the car seat. To me, because I thought I was being dad. I was being the best dad out there. I'm taking care of my daughter. And it wasn't, man. All along it wasn't. And through my addiction, I ended up losing her too, and her mom. And that relationship there lasted maybe almost 7 years. The first one with my boys was 8 years. And time goes on. I'm getting in and out, in and out. I moved back home. And now I got my little boy, the one he's all strung out right now. He comes into the picture and I'm doing the same thing. I was doing fucking beer runs with him in the car. I pull up behind 7-Eleven, leave the car running with the door open. My son in the back seat. I'm running inside, grabbing them chips, beef jerky, and I'm grabbing 2 30 packs and running out the door. And to me, it was cool. I went to the next one, to the next one. I would do 4 7-Elevens every weekend. And that was my thing. And I thought because I was getting him what he wanted, I can justify my actions with that. And this whole time I was just letting him down. I was teaching him some traits early on. He even tells me, man, I remember this. I remember that. I was like, how the hell do you remember all that, dude? You're little. Because I do remember. There's a lot of things I remember and there's a lot of things I don't. And mom used to tell me this and mom used to tell me that. So, hey, so there goes another one. There's another relationship gone. I go to prison now, back home, doing time, getting out. And to me, it's like, all right, fresh start. I'm gonna have to move again, get away from everybody, get away from his mom. That's the problem. She doesn't leave me alone. Her brother's a cop. They're always arresting me. Can't get the task force off my ass everywhere I go. They're right there. So I'm thinking I'm still doing the blame game. You know what I mean? I'm putting the finger on everybody. It's like I ain't got no problem. Everybody has a problem with me, and that's just the way it is. If they don't like it, too bad. Get out of my face or get out of the room. Whatever you got to do. Um, so therefore, end up moving back, right? And get out, jump on a Greyhound bus, come out here back to LA. Um, I'm good. 5.5 months goes by, drinking again. I go to 7-Eleven. I don't come back. Gone again. Pick up another term. Uh, I got 2 with 80 on that one. Went in, got wet, came back out. I was good for was it for like 4 years, maybe? No, not even that. It was way less than that. But it's because I went through ARC. Program completed there, got out, and then ended up coming to Fred Brown's. Fred Brown, that's what Scott Williams, me and him talked a lot. He pumped me up with a lot of good shit, stuff that I don't forget, that I won't forget, and I'll never forget. And with Vicky, we used to sit in the garage too, and we used to do that meditation. For some reason, that just stuck with me. We used to listen to the TV, the waterfalls and birds and just Mother Nature at its best. And she would tell us, bring your blanket, bring your pillow, and lay down, close your eyes, and shut up. That's what she'd tell us. I don't want to hear nobody. I just want to hear a bunch of people breathing. All right, cool. So we would. And man, those were some of the best times because initially got me started to think about me. You know, what were my characteristics? What were my defects? What am I doing? Where am I going? So I program complete, get out, end up in Pomona this time. I'm out there about 4.5 months and I get caught again. This time I'm looking at, this time I ended up with 5 years, 4 months. It's like 4 months. What the hell you gonna give me 4 months? It's nothing. Well, if you want to make sure you do a full calendar year, that's why you're getting it. So I did my term, I got out. While I was in there, when I woke up in the jail cell, I was all wet. I don't know why. Eventually, later on, I figured it out. It was raining that night. Um, but they call my name. The gates unrack. I go up. I think I'm going home. I'm maybe just on a little dry out real quick. And sure enough, the dude tells me, yeah, he goes, you ain't going nowhere. Where you're going, you're gonna have a lot of time to think about what you just did. So get your shit, get on the bus. County's here for you. So I get in. I'm gonna tell you this. One was a God shot. Check out these God shots, all right? And this is just the way it worked in my life for me. So I end up downtown, right? And I end up at the old MCJ, end up in one of the dorms, get there, the room's all tore up. Finally, it comes down to that, hey, they just tossed the pad, they took everything out, and I was asking the dude, hey, do you guys got any books here? He's like, I ain't no book series, all why? Because I'm looking for a AA book, and he starts laughing at me. He's like, no fucking AA books here, dude. Crazy? So nobody reads that stuff here. He's like, we don't even got magazines. They took everything. All right, cool. So, well, a day goes by, another day goes by, and I'm standing at the rack, and all I hear is my name yelled from across the room, Larry. When I look up, there's a book flying in the air. For real. The AA book. It was the book. So I catch this book, right? And I look at it. He goes, yeah, that he had just left a few days ago. He rolled all that up. He was one of those AA dudes. He rolled it up in his mattress. When they shook the house down, they didn't bother with it because the bunk was empty. I found it in there. So I took it and I read it and I kept it and I still have it today. That thing ended up with me and it went through my whole term, but I read it and I continuously read it. It's like when you're reading the Bible, right? It just, for some reason, ends up making more sense the time after that. And I started realizing I got a sponsor, started working on my steps, and I got to 4. So my sponsor comes up to me and goes, hey, you ready? I was like, for what? He goes, step 4. I still quiet. Like, yeah, I already knew what step 4 was about, right? Because this was a step that I've been kind of dreading this whole time. He goes, so your grand sponsor tells me, hey, if you're ready, we can proceed and move forward. Are you down? I'm still quiet. He goes, well, if you're not, or if you are, when the meeting's over, let me know. So at the end of the meeting, he comes up to me and says, so what's your answer? I'm all right, let's do it. He goes, all right. He goes, I want you to write down 10 of your most deepest, darkest secrets. And I laughed. I'm like, you're fucking crazy. Going to the dirt. Write down your shit. He goes, look, man, how do you ever want to get better? How do you ever want to release all that bullshit out of you? How do you ever want to get free from addiction if you want to just hold heartbroken shit? He goes, look, better yet, let me tell you something. I'll make it easy on you. I'll simplify this. Give me 5. 5 of my worst, we're still at that square one. We ain't moved. He goes, look, see you next week. You better have 5 for me. He goes, write them down tonight. Think about it tomorrow. Whatever the case may be. He's all, whatever you do, keep that piece of paper on you 24/7 because if something happens, you either got to swallow that shit or flush it. Right? Because what you're going to write down on that paper and what you're about to tell me is shit that nobody should be reading other than I. All right, cool. I didn't write it down. That's just the way it is. So that night comes around, the meeting is going to start in an hour. I'm sitting there, I'm sweating, I'm huffing and puffing. I'm like, damn, I write stuff down. And I hold this piece of paper. I go to the meeting. He looks at me. He just stays quiet, right? I'm standing there looking at him. I go to shake his hand and I give him the paper. He looks at it. He looks at me. And the dude tears up. He goes, I love you. And he goes to hug me. I didn't tell you this. I never let the vato hug me. Every time he come up to me, I put my arms up. I tap him on the shoulder. And but that's because I'm still learning, right? Still fresh, still green. And he looks at me, he tells me he's proud, he loves me. I looked at him and I didn't know what to do, what to say. And I remember telling him that I love him too, but that was the first time I ever had to say anything to anybody like that. To me, it was like if I ain't saying it to a female that I'm love, then I'm not saying it to nobody other than my mom or my pops. That's it. So I gave it to him, man. I gave it to him. Now, you can sit there and think about the shit you've done, and if you're ready to release and get better and kind of fix yourself to a start, this is something you have to do. I didn't believe in that shit at all. I didn't. I didn't even want to contemplate the fact that what I'm just about to tell this man on paper, it can come back and bite me in my ass if somebody caught a hold of it or they caught a hold of it or he ended up saying something to somebody that he thought he could trust. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, man. I was scared for the longest time. I was like, man, is it going to bite me in my ass or not? But let me tell you something right now, okay? When I did that shit and I gave it to him and I went back to the pad, I felt like, how they say you took the rocks out of your pocket, that weight off your back. That shit happened. Exactly. I'm like sitting there looking up like, what is this? What just happened? Why is it that something that people talk about continuously in the program say that it works? If you work it, worked, right? It worked for me. And I was amazed. And that night, I remember just having that feeling of like, oh God. It was because I never felt so fucking proud of myself. You know what I mean? I conquered something in positive perspective. It's not like being something negative, getting away with it and going home and, oh, yeah, I did it. It's over. No, I did something good for myself and 10 minutes. So I ended up working my steps. Um, Coming around to step four, I think it took me 1 full year. It took me a solid year to work on my step. And when I wrote on somebody, another person would pop up. When I write on that person, two, three more would pop up. 6 months goes by. I already have a whole 3 sheets full of people, right? Stacks of paper. Let me put it to you like this. I step forward and all my writing and everybody that I had to put down and be fully honest to the T was 180 pages front and back. Now, if you're good at writing wheelhouse, if you're good at small writing, if you're good at getting your points across on paper, picture that from top to bottom, left to right. Those were my papers. 1 full year, 180 pages, step four. All that shit right there showed me who I was, what I've become, and now how do I arrest that dude? How do I keep him under the carpet? How do I make sure he doesn't come back out? Because whenever I get hot and pissed off, these are my actions. And behind my actions, this is what happens. This is what I'm capable of, and this is the fucking outcome. Okay? So now when I come across certain things that I get flashbacks, I remember my step four and turn the cheek and take off. Never once in my life have I ever thought I would have to look at somebody after they told me, fuck you, punk, because that's my word. That's what I love to say, to piss you off so that I can get you where I want you. And when I looked at him, I was like, whoa. I was like, hey, I'm sorry you feel like that, homie. I hope it gets better. And I walked away. And I remember when my sponsor told me that, Larry, what are you going to do when that day happens? You're going to hit him? Okay. Is that going to make you feel better? Probably. But if you bust his nose, you cut his eye open, and he falls on the ground, guess what? You're washed up. You're going to stay here with me forever. So think about it. Think about it. Think about that day you can't pay attention to the sign on the wall. Think about the day you jaywalk when it tells you not to. You know? If you can't follow simple direction, you're always going to be coming back. So this is why I tell you these things. So, I did that. My last full year, I fully dedicated myself to what am I going to do when I get out? What is Larry going to do when he leaves? How is he going to do it? And what does he do when he gets out that brings him right back here? Because I couldn't stay out no longer than 5 months, 8 months. That was my pattern. I was so accustomed to being told what to do that it didn't bother me no more. When I realized that, hey, when I'm in those pretty little bracelets again, all I have to do is this: turn myself off and get cold. And that's all I know how to do. That's the best thing I know how to do, and I used to be proud of that shit because I knew I can handle it. But now that I look back at it, I have a lot of regret, remorse, and I'm sorry for the things I did. I apologize to a lot of people, my parents, because they used to tell me, we didn't raise you like that. What happened? You're better than that. Garcias don't do that. My mom's like, sí, pero the Alonsos do. That's why he's like that. So that was my mom's answer, Nina Garcia's an Alonso. Oh. But anyways, so I thought about what I was gonna do. So Larry's not gonna get out and get a job first and foremost. Because when he does get a job and he has money in his pocket, what does he do? He gets high and gets drunk. And then it's all out the window. I'm not gonna go straight home. I'm gonna go to a program. And I'm gonna do programs and I'm gonna learn something this time. And I did. I didn't get a job. I went through 2 programs and I finally got into I went to ARC. I signed up with ARC, got into their boot camp for construction. Um, I got picked up by my company, Martin Brothers. I'm Interior Systems. I build commercial buildings. Okay. I build a multi-million-dollar condos in West Hollywood. I helped build from the 10th floor to the 45th floor. I framed those apartments with one other guy and 2 teams in downtown LA, the Grand, the 45 floors. And right now I'm at the Clipper Stadium. I'm building the Clipper Stadium. And all those buildings have my gum and have my signature. I leave something behind of me. But that's something I get to say today that I'm proud of. I got 9 years clean and sober. I have my truck outside that I love and I cherish with all my heart. That's my weekend toy, but today was like, it's a good day to cruise it, so I'm gonna take it. I have a little Honda at home. It's a 98. It's in good running condition. I bought it for $2,300. It's been with me since I started my trade, and that's my moneymaker. She's the one that gets me to and from work all the time, and that's how I get the things that I want today. From having to live on a 99-cent cheeseburger every other day just so I can feed my addiction, my insanity. Now I have credit cards. Now I have money in my pockets. I don't have to worry about shit. My bills are paid. I pay everything myself. I don't even need my wallet. I figured that out the other day. This is my fucking wallet right here. I was like, hey, this shit's cool. Blink, blink. Now I'm spending money like crazy because I never used my phone like that. I don't even really know how to navigate that much. But these are the things that I get to do today. And it's only because of the program, because Fred Brown opened up their doors and they allowed me to see things different through the program here. Like we always say in the meetings, hey man, come to a meeting in a program, you're high as fuck for the rest of your life. That's what happens. It is. Because every time I relapse, I got a guilty conscience. And that guilty conscience wouldn't allow me to keep pushing further and harder like the way I like to do it because I already knew what was coming. Straight up. And when it would happen, I knew it was over and I can relax and I can breathe. But today, you know, I make really good money. Um, I'm happy for once. I love myself. You know, I have love for me. I have respect for myself. I know when to say no. I know how to walk away. I don't care about who thinks what. You know, I had to tell some younger cats the other day at work. Oh, you know, yeah, he shows up with his little bracelet and shit. I said, look, I don't give a fuck what you think, homie. But this was a reason behind this. And you know why? It's because my anger started coming up in me again. The stress from work, the heat, all kinds of other stuff going on. I have a pit bull at home, right? He's mixed. He's blue nose, American Pit Bull Terrier, and he has a little bit of Mastiff in him. He's a 100-pound pit, 18 months old. He has osteoarthritis, sclerosis, and he has hip dysplasia. For my little puppy that can't play no more, I have to treat him like an old man. I gotta move his bones in the morning to get him to walk. You know, I've spent over $4,000 on him already just on vet bills, three or four now. 4 visits to the vet. But if I didn't get myself together and get my shit together, I could never take care of him. God put him in my life for a reason because if someone else would have taken him, he'd probably be dead right now or be crippled. But I get to take care of him. He's like my kid, you know, and I provide for him and I give him stuff like that. I never once in my life thought I could do anything like that. I couldn't do it for my kids. Now I get to take care of him. I get to, you know, make sure he has a good, happy life for however long he's here, you know. I was in a relationship that's gone, you know, I didn't know what to do. So things were getting crazy. The shit was hitting the fan really fast, really quick. Things were coming at me. Life was testing me. So the question is, what are you gonna do when life comes at you? Have you thought about it? Do you think about it? Do you know your struggles? Do you know your character defects? What pisses you off the most? What gets you moving? What gets you going? How are you gonna stop all that to not continue this to keep happening? Because you know, you're not guaranteed another chance, man. You know, and I don't like those odds. To me, I don't. I love my life today. I love myself and I love what I get to do. You know, and I do it every day to the best of my ability. You know, I go home, go to bed, and I think about work. You know, hey, I had this problem today. Well, how am I gonna fix it tomorrow? That's my biggest worry, you know what I mean? That's what I get to do today. I go to work, I kick ass, I bust ass, and I build the Clippers their home. You know, that's what I get to do, and then move on to the next one, and then to the next one, and then to the next one. So that's what we do today. I build. Oh, and I brought flyers here for you guys are interested in getting into the Carpenters Union. We're gonna have about 50 general contractors there. It's a big combine. It's a big tryout. If you guys hustle, bustle, move as fast as you can, and prove to them that you can do it, there's a good chance you can get picked up and be in the union. Right? Just to let you guys know, my first year I made $45,000. And I moved up to 50, 57. These last 2 years I made over $80,000. That's what I get to do every year. That's what I look forward to. You can do it too. Anybody can do it. We got it for the sisters. Sisters can make just as much money. The union has a lot of money to give away. All you got to do is be strong enough to want to get it and fight for it every day. You know, a lot of local 213 in LA. That's my local. I'm proud of it. I got into it 3 months into its existence because it's new, but that's what I do every day, man. You know, and I'm the chair for the mentorship committee for out of local 213. I do this right here every day with new guys that are coming in, new brothers and sisters. Every day, every week, I go to the 2-day orientation. I give them as much information as I can, and I try to keep them in the union. Try to keep their lives together. You got to see the phone calls I get. Texas, Larry, I can't do this. Larry, what about this? Hey, I can't do this. I even got journeyman telling me, yeah, I'm up. I got 3 of the homies at the gym lined up for tomorrow because they're going to beat my kid's ass. I'm sick and tired of it. You know, so there's little things like that I get. They think I'm a hotline for, you know, for getting a job. You know, I'm not the unemployment line, but I try to do my best. I try to assist everybody. I try to be the best that I can because I think that's my calling today. I think my calling is to be assistance, you know, to anybody who needs it. So that's what I do today on a daily basis. I do it at the hall. I do it on times when I get chances to do it, to come out here. And I go to meetings. You know, I don't always get to make them, but like my sponsor told me, if you're not relapsing, you're not kicking it with the homies, or you're not doing something stupid, then don't stress about it. Just do what you can when you can, as much as you can. And stay connected. Trust and believe. Right now, I can't make it to a meeting every week, every month. But when something happens, calling my friend, I'm going to a meeting and I'm sitting my ass in the front row and I'm staying quiet and I'm just listening because I know me already. And I got this to remind me how fast I can get there. 0 to 60, just like that, quick ass thought. Because it's a subconscious thought. If I let that happen and I don't consciously think about what I'm going to do next, I'm in trouble. I'm done. Everything I worked for these last 9 years is out the window. My truck's gone, my car's gone. Who's going to take care of my dog? And all my bills going to get paid. That's what I get to worry about today. It's not like, hey, we're gonna go fuck up. How am I gonna get this fixed? Let's go get some beer. Hey, the car's not running. How are we gonna get over here? None of that shit no more. Hey, I'm hungry. What are we gonna eat? I don't know. I only got fucking a pack of bologna and bread. What's up? On a sopa? That's all I got, dog. Nah, hell no. I'm sick and tired of cheeseburgers, sandwiches, and steaks. You know what I mean? That's my life today. I get to do all that stuff. Every once in a while I still eat a spread because I love it. That's just me, right? But like I'm saying, the bottom line is that I got serious. I had a game plan and I had to write down my short-term goals that's going to lead to a long-term. And I'm pretty much getting to my long-term, but every time I cross one out, something new's coming. I got medical insurance today too. Shit. I don't have to worry about it. I'm not self-medicating no more. I go to a doctor and let him give me all the medicine I want. That's cool. That's the way it is today. I'm actually a functioning member of society, and I'm proud to say that shit. Because before going against the grain, man, I used to love that shit. That was a rush from hell that I used to love to take, and I took it on all the time with the greatest of ease and challenge. But other than that, owe it to yourself. Think about it. I tell people all the time, I have to think about it. What did I do today that could have led me there? And what am I going to do tomorrow to not get back to that point that could have led me back into those anchors? I have to think about myself every day. Because if I don't and I get complacent in life, guess what? It shows up and I don't know what to do and I'm reverting back into old ways. It's thinking, like we say, right? It's just the way it is. It's something I destroyed my life in 27 years, right? To the best of my ability, as much as I could. Cheated death several times. Okay. But it took me to get serious about what I wanted to do, to stand here before you to tell you this. And now I know what not to do. I know what to do today. And I thank my parole officer too, Agent Brooks out of Alumni. When I tested dirty for him, told him just lock me up. Let's go. Drop me out. Do my violation. Get out. I ain't tripping. He said, that's your problem. You don't care. He said, so guess what? I'm not locking you up. That's how I ended up here. Fred Brown. That's how I ended up at ARC. That's how I ended up in these homes. Because he told me, no, that's your easy way out. You have a problem. I read you from day one, 15 when you got arrested, all the way up to now. You've been under the influence every time. So you're going to realize you have a problem. And if it weren't for him starting that, I probably wouldn't be here. For sure. I'd probably be dead or I'd probably be washed up for the rest of my life. Just getting out of jail, sitting at the something, whatever. What's today? Tuesday. So think about it. All right. I ask you, I challenge you guys, every one of you in here, think about it. Write it down if you have to. I used to have all the Post-its on my door. It works. I have a dry erase board that I have to see every day to not let me forget my responsibilities because I got all my bills and everything on there and the amount I have to pay and a total. And I got to make sure that it's on my card every week. And I have to go to work every day and I have to be early and I have to leave late. Those are the things I have to do today. That's like my biggest worry today is my bills. So take the time. A lot of times, a lot of us just go home and sit there and just shoot the shit. You can take those 5 minutes and jot it down. Get serious about yourself, about your life. What are you going to do once you leave here? Once you got to go back out to society? Do you want this? Do you want to come back? Do you want to keep doing this? You just might not come back. Think about it. That's the worst part about it. You're not guaranteed, you know? So I had to think about it like that in order for me not to be reverting into old ways and not to come back. I get to come back today because I want to, right? I have to think about it like that. And now it's a want, not I need to because they told me to come back today and I share myself with you guys and I need to because if I'm not transparent and my message is not being told, I might not click to nobody. I might not say it in a different manner that it's gonna click you, that you're gonna understand. So do it. Just it's not hard, man. It's not hard. It's a very, very happy life. Life gets hard from time to time, but that's life. You can't run away from it whether you're high or you're sober. It shows up. It's not. So thank you guys for allowing me here.